What is up, my Tier 2 Patreon supporters? It's time to talk Raw. And the show opens up with Ric Flair in ring, and he's putting over the Team Flair versus Team Hogan at Crown Jewel. This is the best stuff on the show. Flair, I wish Flair was on there for 3 hours. He tells a fan that's mouthing off, "I used to know your mother." It was hilarious. So he introduces the last member of his team. It's Drew McIntyre, and he's announcing him, and he says that he's kissed every girl since he's been in town and made them all cry. This is entertainment. This is wrestling. Everybody backstage should be taking notes of what Ric Flair did last night. That's entertainment. So then Flair heals on the Cleveland Browns because they're in Cleveland. Absolutely hilarious. And McIntyre says he's going to give a preview of Crown Jewel. So we have him versus Ricochet. It's a long match, but what cracked me up was in the middle of the match that Sarah Girl goes out and she interviews Flair during the match while he's ringside, and he cuts his promo on Hogan. Absolutely tremendous. Drew McIntyre goes over and then destroys Ricochet after the match outside the ring, on the ring steps, all that stuff. But man, Flair, by far the most entertaining thing on the show. I really wish we could do the grumpy old men thing with him and Hogan every single week. So Charlie's with the OC, and they cut a promo on the Street Profits. I guess that match they talked about last week that they never said when it was going to be, well, it's tonight. And they say the Street Profits need to earn their keep, and they shouldn't be the unofficial hosts of Raw. Very generic. And speaking of generic, we have an Aleister Black backstage promo. Something about his madness. And he's going to go out to pick a fight. And he does, as he has a match versus a jobber. And I laughed because I know this jobber. This is a guy named Jason that I used to hang out with way back in the day when I first got into wrestling. Jason Kane was his name at the time. They called him Jason something else on the show, but I don't know if that's some stupid WWE name they came up with, but I just cracked up because this is a guy that I used to hang out with all the time. I can't believe they actually let him get offense in on Aleister Black. Jobbers aren't supposed to get offense in, but Aleister Black goes over. But what did this do? What have they done for Aleister Black? Remember he beat Cesaro? Maybe he beat Sami Zayn if I remember correctly. And now he's back in his room cutting meaningless promos, beating meaningless wrestlers. I don't understand. So then we get an AOP sit down, one of their promos, and they say they signed with Raw, and Raw signed them so they wouldn't go to SmackDown. All right, well, they weren't drafted, though, so they kind of look like schlubs, right? I mean, you do these big things, these big promos, these big tough guys, and then they don't get drafted, and they sign with free agents as Raw, because Raw was trying to keep them away from SmackDown. Well, if they were trying to do that, they would have drafted them. So then Jerry Lawler has an in-ring interview with Rusev, and he talks about the Lana and Lashley stuff, and the crowd starts doing the what chant to Lawler every time he talks, and then Rusev says, hey, he's a Hall of Famer, come on, and actually got him to stop. I like that. The what chant's annoying. So then Lawler asks Rusev what his thoughts are on the Lana and Lashley stuff, but then Rusev says it's all Lashley's fault. He's poisoned Lana's brain, which is interesting. He says he still wears his wedding band because he hopes that they will pass through this. So they're kind of Rusev's acting like a wuss here. I don't know. He thinks she's being brainwashed and he's not getting it. I don't like if that's where they're going with Rusev. He shouldn't be acting like that based on who he is. That's just my opinion. But then Bobby and Lana pop up on the screen and they're at a restaurant. Lana's boobs are all out and about. Okay, I said Flair was the best thing on the show. This may have been the best thing on the show, Lana's boobs. So then Lashley says that he's going to take care of Lana's needs. And then she says that, you know this restaurant, Rusev. I asked you over and over to take me here, and you never would. But Lashley fulfilled her dreams and took her there. Okay. So Lana says she loves him. Lashley tells her that he loves her. They go off the screen, and Lawler says, you're going to respond to that. And Rusev says he'll deliver his message personally because he knows where they are, and he takes off to the back. At least there's some kind of hook of something's coming up later. People might want to see that. I don't know. So then we have Andrade versus Sin Cara, reliving that monumental feud from SmackDown a few years back. And then Humberto Carrillo is watching on the screen, the guy that I had no idea who he was that got drafted really high by Raw. And then they actually go to commercial during this match. Andrade versus Sin Cara. They go to commercial. I don't understand this writing. So Andrade goes over with help from Selena Vega. She gave Sin Cara a Hurricane Run on the outside. That looked kind of cool. Andrade over. So then Charlie's with this Humberto guy. She welcomes him to Raw and wants his reaction on the match. And I can't believe that they did this live because this was terrible. Set this guy up to fail. So bad. But he says Andrade will be Universal Champ one day unless he beats him to it. And when he does beat him to it, he won't play with fire like Seth Rollins. I mean, this was really bad. I cannot believe they set this guy up into this live. So terrible. So the Street Profits are backstage, and they make fun of the OC, and it's not funny. So they put over that they're main eventing tonight. Yes, that's the main event tonight. OC versus Street Profits and Mystery Partner. That's the main. Seriously, that's the main event. So then one of them asks the other one if he got a partner, and he says it's a surprise, and that the partner doesn't like AJ Styles, and he's just like them. Okay. So then R-Truth is sneaking around backstage, and he runs into one of the Singh brothers, and now they're going by the Bollywood boys that we talked about last week. Still no explanation for any of us that didn't watch 205 Live or wherever they transformed back into this old gimmick. Don't know why they're acting like this. And so while he was talking to one, the other one rolls him up, beats Truth for the belt. So then Sarah's with Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder, starting to sound like Vince. They're got a match with the Viking Raiders now, and she asked them about being underdogs. And they say they're grateful for the opportunity, and people are going to start calling them underdogs and start calling them winners. Okay, like this is the most generic thing. Think about how many interviews we've had over the past few months where, hey, you're the underdog. What do you think about that? All the time. Sami Zayn, how many years ago, was the underdog? Chad Gable, the underdog. There's other people I'm forgetting. Now these guys are the underdogs. All the freaking time. It's just like rinse and repeat with these storylines. So then they have the match, non-title, Viking Raiders go over. What a surprise. So what was the point of that interview? Like, what did this accomplish for anybody? So Lana and Lashley back at the restaurant, and the manager comes up and asks them to leave because he heard that Rusev may be coming, and he doesn't want any trouble. So then Lashley says that Rusev doesn't have the balls to come here and shoos the manager away. So does the manager look like a wuss or what? I mean, yeah, I'd be scared of Bobby Lashley too. But if you have the balls to go up to ask people to leave the restaurant and they refuse and shoo you away, like, I don't know, whatever, I don't know. But another hook, we go to commercial, but then they come right back with it. They could have dragged this on throughout the show and had more of these scenes. But right away when we come back, we get the conclusion of it right here at this point. So Rusev shows up at the restaurant. I mean, I'm going to give them credit for doing something outside of the arena. They need to do more of this stuff, but they also need to learn how to do it properly and entertaining and thread it throughout. Yes, they did have a hook earlier. Yes, they did have a hook for this commercial. That is all good. But they instantly come back, and I don't know, maybe an hour left in the show at this point, and they wrap it up right here. Like, they could have done more entertaining things and continued it on throughout the show. So it's like 50-50. Give them credit for doing stuff outside the arena. Give them credit for kind of a thread. Give them credit for hooks. But you got to improve on this stuff. So Rusev flips over the tables. He attacks Lashley, and then all of a sudden there's restaurant security. There's indie wrestlers everywhere acting as security. So instead of security in the ring tonight, there's security at a restaurant. Because every time I go to a restaurant, I see about 5 or 6 security guards working there, don't you? So Rusev gets escorted out, and Lana yells, "Have fun in jail." But then there's no follow-up from this at this point. This was it for the night. Why? Couldn't we see what happened at the restaurant afterwards? Did they go back to eating their food? Could you make something funny out of it? Could the manager come back up? Yeah, nothing. What happened to Rusev? Did he get arrested? Did he just get escorted out? Why is there no more after this? So Rey Mysterio in ring, and he says he's been training Cain Velasquez to get him ready for Brock. And he thanks all the fans and everyone for the outpouring of love towards him and Dominic after they got beat up by Brock. So then Paul Heyman pops up on the screen, and he says he's here to deliver a message to Rey since Brock's on SmackDown. And he talks about the scar that Velasquez gave Brock in their UFC fight, and Brock has to see it in the mirror every day, and he'll get revenge at Crown Jewel. Okay, that could be something really cool. Instead of Paul Heyman just telling us about it. Why isn't Brock telling us about it? Why aren't we being told this entire story? They briefly showed it last week, or whatever it was, 2 weeks ago. I don't remember. Velasquez says something in Spanish. Rey says he's going to give you another scar. But make this the whole thing with the scar. Have Brock, like, looking in the mirror, and we're seeing this, and he's pissed off about it, and he punches the mirror. Have Brock tell this story, not Heyman. Like, it's just kind of like a throwaway to me. But we got Brock and Mysterio talking about the scar Heyman and Mysterio talking about the scar instead of Brock and Velasquez. This could actually be a good, like, story if they did it right. So then, Heyman says that Brock's going to get his revenge at Crown Jewel, and then Rey yells something to him in Spanish, and then Shelton Benjamin comes out, and he's upset that Velasquez gets to come in, save Rey, and then he gets a WWE Championship. And he says he has a buddy too, Brock Lesnar. He roomed with him in college, and Brock is his family. They just bring this shit out of nowhere with people who are great friends, family. Look, I mean, look how many best friends Natalya's had over the last 2 years. Now all of a sudden, Shelton Benjamin and Brock Lesnar, who we've never seen together on WWE TV, and since Shelton Benjamin has returned to the WWE, now all of a sudden they're best friends and family? Like, you just say stuff, and it doesn't mean anything without seeing it. It's so stupid. So then he pushes Rey around because he wants to test a theory that if you beat up Rey Mysterio, you get a title shot. So he starts pushing him, slapping him in the face, and then Cain Velasquez comes out, and Benjamin tries to take him down, but Velasquez takes him down, and just like Tyson Fury last week, starts throwing all these terrible fake punches. Listen, do not have these guys do this until they know how. It looks ridiculous. I don't know why they put these guys in this situation. If this guy does not know how to throw a work punch, don't have him throw a punch. It looks ridiculous. So then he chokes Shelton, and Shelton Benjamin taps out, and then he lets him go and he rolls out of the ring. All right. Again, like, this could be a lot better with this Scar story. Instead, we get this Shelton Benjamin B story. So then Charlie's with Seth Rollins, and she says it seems that the Fiend's got in his head. And Rollins says, well, maybe I got in his. I did find the Firefly Funhouse. And then he says, let me tell you about the Fiend. When you step in the ring with him, you're changed. Like, this is the follow-up to him burning the Firefly Funhouse. The announcers tell us later, oh, Bray Wyatt built a new Firefly Funhouse. Oh, really? That fast? He built a new Funhouse in a week. And there's no, that we can't see any follow-up to last week. We get this awful burning of a wall and a table, and this is the follow-up. Yo, you step in the ring with him, you're changed. And then Rollins walks off from the interview because he sees that Humberto guy. And he talks to him because of the comments he made earlier. And he tells him he burned down the funhouse because he had to, and he'd do it again. And he welcomes him to Raw and challenges him to a match right now. So we have Seth Rollins versus Humberto Carrillo, non-title. Rollins goes over in a long match because everybody knows this is how you get a new person over that nobody cares about. You put them in a long match with the champion and they almost win. And then everybody instantly respects them and they're a great wrestler and everybody's going to cheer for them, right? They never learn. They never freaking learn. So this guy's going to be magically over now because he took Seth Rollins to the limit, right? Cut a terrible backstage promo because you set him up to fail. We know nothing about this guy. We don't care about him at all, but because he almost beat Seth Rollins. Oh, okay, yeah, when he comes out next time, oh yeah, this guy's serious business. It's unreal. And then Rollins puts his hand out to shake his hand after the match, and they shake hands. Crowd couldn't give two shits about it. Neither can I. Like, they think this stuff gets people over. It's whatever. Watch. If they don't give this guy a character and a story, nobody's going to care about him, just like they've done with everybody else that takes the champ to the limit. Remember when Andrade beat Daniel Bryan? What about Ricochet? All these other guys that have these great long matches with people. You don't care about them. It doesn't matter. Ali? All these people they've done this same booking with in the past 2 years. How do they not know that it doesn't work? Learn from your own mistakes. So then R-Truth tries to win his 24/7 title back, but he pins the wrong Hollywood boy. And so the ref won't count, and then they run off. Like, they're out of ideas with this title. So it's time for the main event. OC versus the Street Profits and a mystery partner, well, it's supposed to be. But then there's no mystery partner. And AJ says, oh, did you lie? Oh, is he invisible? Oh, is he imaginary? Like, this is the dialogue. So there's no mystery partner. So instead of a 6, it's a tag match, Gallows and Anderson versus the Street Profits. Like, guys, I don't know. This is your main event of Raw. So the match goes on for a while, and then the referee throws out AJ, who's ringside. So AJ starts arguing, and then Kevin Owens comes out and gives AJ a stunner. Okay, so he was the third man. They play like this is the freaking NWO. That's the third man? Oh, yeah, okay. Why couldn't have Owens just come out and been in the match? Like, what did this accomplish? So he comes out, gives AJ a stunner, and then the Street Profits beat Gallows and Anderson, who are pretty much jobbers anyway because the OC never wins. What did this accomplish? What did any of this show? Like, it's like they don't have a plan of anything. Like, do they know where they're going with any of this stuff? What is the plan of this program, this television program? What is their goals? What are their plans? What are they trying to accomplish? Because it's like they show up to the arena. All right, who showed up today? All right, okay, this is what you're doing. All right, let's have them do this. Scribble something down. We have a television show. That's how it comes across. This is, I don't know. I'm lost at this point. I don't know what the point of this show is. I don't know what the point of the booking is. I don't know what the point of having any of these people on TV is. Guys, I suffer for you. Remember that. I put myself through this torture. I don't fast forward these stupid matches. All right? I get the full effect. I only fast forward commercials and video packages. But I sit through this trash so I can get the full effect of what this does to the television viewer. So you don't have to, because I appreciate your support on here. You support me, I will suffer for you. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.